Hi, everyone. Chad Burton and Billy Tarasio here from Modern Law Practice. How are you doing today, Billy?
Fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, great as well. What's new? Before we jump into our topic, how's the retail store going?
It's coming along. Um, the plan was to open July 1. We went ahead and backed that up to the 6th, which is essentially the day following the 4th of July holiday.
Mhm.
So that's our launch date. We've got people hired, we've got stuff purchased, it's painted, it's coming together. And now, of course, is a mad dash to figure out, okay, what are the offerings? Um,
Right.
what is it that we're selling there? Because it's a different offering. What documents are we going to make available? How are we going to do that? What's the document automation process look like? So it's interesting where we're at on that project with what we're talking about today.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what we want to dive into today, and we'll probably, unless we change our mind, obviously, be a series of discussions related to productization of legal services. And so today we want to do kind of the general discussion on it. I think, yeah, we could tie it nicely to what you're doing at the retail space for sure. But we wanted to get into this because it's a topic that law firms across the country are thinking about in different ways. You have folks who are, thinking about their services as being productized, maybe as something as simple as a little bit of document automation and a fixed fee. To the other end of examples that we could use of like, our friend Erin Levine and Hello Divorce, where she's built a platform, a DIY aspect of it, where you can also get help from lawyers and document preparers. And so we've got a wide range of options on that front.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that a lot of family law attorneys have thought about, care about, and want to figure out how to do. They want to figure out how to help the people who are contacting them who cannot afford them. They want to figure out a way to package and sell their knowledge so that they're not trading time for dollars, because family law litigation can be just really hard. It's really hard on the people that are going through it, and then it can be very hard on the attorneys, so the attorneys have a tendency to burn out.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, I get a bit of a cough going here, which is great for recording.
That's okay. I
All
have a
right,
story I want to tell anyway, so you can keep.
great. You continue on. I will cough for a minute. You
All
go.
right. So I remember like vividly the moment that Access Legal came to being in my brain. And there are these strange, there are moments that you have in your life that are just like imprinted in your brain. But for me, the way that I came on this journey was when I first started Modern Law, it was all surrounding how do I offer a low cost, limited scope legal services model? How do I charge $99 an hour, use contract attorneys? And then you all know that that didn't really work, and that I struggled with the tension between how do I stay true to my mission of wanting to offer lower cost legal services while still having a successful, profitable law firm that pays a lot of money. And Alexander had just been born. So he's 8 now, 8.5. He had just been born. And I was sitting in a chair with him. He was nursing, because all nursing moms know that you spend lots and lots of time doing that. And I was just like agonizing over how to productize family law services. And the concept that came to being, this was 2012, was a forward facing document automation software. Allow people to go to a website and to fill out their live forms. And LegalZoom existed at the time. And then as I researched, there was some other products that existed at the time. Richard Granite had a product,
Right.
but this was in the infancy of what we're talking about right
Direct law. Yep.
now. So this concept has been around a long time. I've been playing with it for a long time, but it's hitting a new evolution, and it's hitting a
Right.
point where more and more family law attorneys can do it. And we want to build a course on how family law attorneys can productize family law, because there's more and more options to do so.
Right. And so, yeah, the idea that with the courses, we'll do kind of a step by step. Here are the different topics you need to address. and with the idea that you can walk away from it and well, not literally, but watch it and be able to start creating your own model, because everybody's going to have a different flavor, right? What you
Mhm.
just described is your version of it.
Mhm.
At the time, we used direct law and at my law firm, and we experimented with that in a different way, and it had its ups and downs with it because we tried it in a different approach than you did. So everybody has kind of their different ways of looking at it. So, and what will benefit one market and one client base and one firm will be different than anybody else. And so that's what kind of makes it exciting, is that one lawyer's vision of how they want to productize offerings in their market is going to be different than the other person, which is fun. But where we see the hang up is, and you've done this, I did it a different way. Aaron has been building Hello Divorce, for years now, and now is taking that to different states. Um, you need a good infrastructure, but what that means can vary, which is fun.
Yeah, so there are lessons to be learned from those of us who have been experimenting for a long time. The people that came way before me and the people that have come since. Hold on 1 minute. Children. Anyway, so the thing that we can learn,
Coffee and children. This is going to be one of our better recordings.
best, right? The thing that we can learn and that we have learned is that people don't want pure DIY. That's why they're not using LegalZoom for family law. If people wanted pure DIY, if they just wanted forms, they would go to LegalZoom, and they do. Like I did have one. I have one client who came to me with a prenuptial agreement that they did on Rocket Lawyer. But that's one. Okay, that's
Right.
one. So most people are not doing pure DIY, and if they are, they can go to the courthouse for that. Where the real value comes in, I've seen this with a mediation service out of Utah. I can't remember the name right now. There's Laura Wasser's platform. There's Brooke Moore's platform. There's a lot of people that are assisting the DIY market, and it's a combo
Right.
of tech plus people. And so one of the things we're going to dive into is, what does that mean for lawyers? How can you package limited scope legal services? How can you use document preparers or paralegals? Does your state allow for it? If your state doesn't allow for it, what does that mean? We're going to get into what are the ethical considerations? How do you set up the various companies? How do you make this work?
Right. Yeah. And so series of lessons. And what we also are going to do, as part of this, as we put these discussions out from like a YouTube perspective, we would love thoughts and feedback on kind of where your brain is at. We'll put this out on our newsletter as well. And we'll have most likely future sessions of these weekly discussions of kind of talking about the different topics, which will then go into super detail in the course offering. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think
What
it's
we want to know is like, what do you want to offer? Like, what's your vision? Because then we can kind of take your vision, your questions, and make sure that we answer them and help you develop it, because I think it's a great idea.
It is, and I think there's an opportunity for like the family law community, as people try out different things, to be able to share with one another, because yes, you obviously have competitors in your market, people that you view as competing family law firms locally, but there's so many family law firms across the country. To be able to learn from what works and what doesn't work, I think will be a big help for sure. Cool. So, and actually, that is going to be our topic for our newsletter this week. Have you tried this? Our MLP experimentation newsletter, where the first step, the preview of what comes out tomorrow, is going to be thinking about kind of what is that vision of it. If you maybe you've given zero thought to it. Maybe you've seen it on Facebook lawyer groups where people are talking about it a little bit. You've looked at Hello Divorce, I Do Over, Brooke Moore's virtual lawyering, like all these different things, but maybe you just haven't intentionally thought about what does it look like for your firm. So that's, I think, where we start. And so that's what we'll highlight for this weekend in our newsletter. Anything else
How
you
do
want to chat
people
about
sign
today?
up? Well, I just think like your newsletter is so good. I read it. It's great. How do people sign up?
Um, they can go to our website and sign up. I'll put the link below this, and then they can sign up for the newsletter, get that. It comes out every weekend. Cool.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll
All
talk
right.
again soon.
All right. Thanks.